few seconds. And I know from talking to another person, even if no one shows up, they do want you to record it and go through.
Okay. Can do.
So. But it's right at the top of the hour, so we'll give them a few minutes. Just going to give it a few minutes. Want to proceed?
Sure.
Okay. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all of North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see you or hear you. This is just one of the many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org or CACRAO.org. And the presentation is being recorded and will be available in about a week at that same website. So I'm going to now hand it over to Gaston College, and they will go from there.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and try to share my screen real quick. Make sure everything loads correctly. It might take just a second for it to pop up on your end. My name is Megan Lingerfeld, and I am the student recruiter and enrollment specialist from Gaston College. My information is on the screen as you see it, so feel free to be able to jot down any of that information. Also, feel free to take any pictures of any of the information that you see as we're scrolling through the slides. If you see something that you think might be of interest for you to refer to later, feel free to take a snapshot of it and save it, just so that way you know what information you found interesting and you can refer back to it later, especially if you have any other questions, whether it's during the session or maybe even after the session, then you can reach back out and be able to ask those questions in the future. So I will try my absolute best to answer any questions that appear during the session. I will probably try to get through most of the presentation and then try to look through the questions and see how I can best answer those. But if for some reason I am unable to get to your question because this is a very set time limit of 45 minutes, then I will try to reach back out to you soon, and you're welcome to also take my information and email me or call me with that question as well. So I appreciate you coming out and joining with us. Let's learn a little bit more about Gaston College. So Gaston College is an open door public community college. What does that mean for you? Well, as the student, you'll see as you start researching a lot of the four-year schools that they do have specific GPAs and test scores that they're looking for entrance into the college. Gaston College is a little bit different. We don't necessarily look for a specific GPA or specific test scores from like ACT or SAT, basically because since we are a community college, we're able to help those students once they graduate high school, if they might not be meeting any of those levels with a certain GPA or certain test scores to be able to enter into the program that they're interested in, we can actually help you achieve higher levels in those areas, specifically in areas like English and mathematics, where we're able to kind of help take it back to a basic level and then help you grow in your skills. So we're not looking for a specific GPA or test scores for you to be accepted into the college. We will help you grow from where you are now into where you would like to be. We do have 3 different campus locations. So one in Dallas, North Carolina, which is our main campus, one in Lincoln, North Carolina, which is the Lincoln campus, and one in Belmont, North Carolina, which is our Kimbrell campus. We are the 10th largest community college in the state of North Carolina. I think that's pretty cool. And we do have a student age range usually from about 16 to 89. That's quite wide. We do have a lot of adult learners that will come back to us for one reason or another. Maybe they didn't get to take college outside of high school when they were in the traditional college age of 18 to 24 years old. Maybe it was something they had to put off. Maybe they want to come back to be able to go for a different career than what they were doing before. So there's a lot of different reasons. And the 16-year-olds are usually participating in our Career and College Promise program, CCP, or it's also called College Now. And this is a way for high school students to be able to start taking those college classes at Gaston College while they are still in high school, to go ahead and get a jump start on their college career, which is a pretty awesome opportunity. So if you are a current junior or even a current senior, you still have a semester left and you think that CCP might be a good fit for you, then definitely talk to your high school counselors about that opportunity. We do have a 16-to-1 student faculty ratio, which pretty much means we are able to keep our classes pretty small. So you get a little bit more personal attention, a little bit more hands-on in that education, so which is always awesome. And then we do have lots of programs, as you'll see whenever we go through the next few slides, that you can choose from. And some of our more popular programs are listed on the screen. College transfer is very popular. We'll talk about that. Business, nursing, criminal justice, and criminal justice forensic science. Those are options here. Apprenticeship 321. We'll be able to get to all of those in just a second. So just to explain a little bit of background for those who might be new to college, this is just a little backdrop of what some of those degree types are and what that means. So the Associate of Arts, Associate of Science is our more popular programs within the college transfer programs area. And so they are specifically designed to be able to help students go ahead and get all of their general education courses out of the way, those Englishes, math, science, psychologies, histories, humanities, all that good stuff. Go ahead and get that at the community college, and then you'll receive an associate's degree at the end of that 2-year program, and then you'll be able to take that associate's degree and transfer that into one of the 4-year schools you may be interested in. We'll talk a little bit more about that process towards the end of the presentation specifically, but that is, those are good programs to be able to go into if you know you want to go to the 4-year school, but that you're wanting to start out at the community college first. We also do have Associate of Applied Science, which are also 2-year associate degree programs. They are not originally designed for transfer, but that doesn't mean that they can't transfer. We do have some agreements with schools for specific programs to be able to help with that transfer process if available. But they were actually designed for students to get a 2-year education and then turn right around and go back out into the workforce and work with that. So that was the intention behind the Associate of Applied Science. And then we do have diplomas. They'll take about a year in length, so about 3 semesters. And you are able to get the same or the amount of training and education that you need to go back into the workforce and work with that diploma. One of our most popular ones is welding. So within 3 semesters, you're able to take that diploma that you just completed and go back out in the workforce and start working in that field. And then we do have certificates, which take you about 1 to 2 semesters, somewhere between 12 to 16 credit hours to be able to complete. CNA was always a popular certificate program with us because it only takes 1 semester, and then you're able to go back out in the workforce and start working with that. One note that we do like to make is that you do definitely need to check with the financial aid office if you're going for a certificate program specifically. If you believe that you're going to want to use financial aid to be able to help fund, because some of our certificate programs are covered, but not all. So that's definitely a question you're going to want to ask if that's a pathway that you're considering. So just letting you know a little bit of a difference about how the tuition rate information goes. With Gaston College, we do by credit hour. So you would take $76 per credit hour for those in-state students, and you would multiply that by the amount of credit hours you're wanting to register for within a given semester. So just using an example, for about 12 credit hours a semester, that'd be about $912 at Gaston College. Now, on the other side, you can kind of compare to what some of those four-year schools might be offering within that same range of credit hour. This is not to deter anybody from going to the four-year schools. We partner very well with the four-year schools. We have great relationships with a lot of the four-year schools that you're going to see on here. The only reason why we present this information is basically to let you know that there are some ways to help you save money up front. Just like with financial aid and scholarships, using your community college is another route to be able to help you save some up front, so that way by the time you do transfer to those four-year schools, you'll have a little bit more money in your pocket to use for things like tuition and fees, cost of textbooks, the cost of living. It does add up. So we just want to help you save money up front by not only using the more inexpensive credit hour rate that we are able to give, but also additionally the financial aid and the scholarship options, so that way you can save a lot up front that you can use later in your education. And then hopefully by the time you finish that four-year degree, or however far you want to go with your educational pathway, you're able to, hopefully not take out so much debt and trying to get student loans and whatnot. Because, that's what we're trying to help you with, is be able to save money, so that way you can get through your complete education with the money that you've saved, so that way you can use that later. So that's just all that the comparison is supposed to be for. So I did mention our programs of study. We do have several different programs within different departments. You can see our arts and science department is primarily where those college transfer programs that we talked about live. Associate in arts, associate in science. We do also have associate in fine arts, in visual arts, and then also associate in engineering. Those are transfer degrees. So those are two-year degrees that you're able to achieve at Gaston College, and then transfer those to one of the four-year schools, specifically in North Carolina, but it doesn't necessarily have to be strictly North Carolina. And we'll talk about that in a minute. We do have several public safety programs, including basic law enforcement training, which is a certificate program. We do have emergency medical science, that's paramedic, fire protection technology. A fun fact, Gaston College actually has the largest burn structure in the country right on our campus. It's 12 stories, and they're able to regularly set that building on fire. And then the fire protection technology students are able to go and use the training and education they have in the program to put that fire out. So it's actually a really cool way that we're able to present some hands-on education. And that's not the only program that we have hands-on education in. There's a lot of our, especially associate of applied science and diploma programs, that are very hands-on. Some of them were broadcasting and production technology, criminal justice, our paralegal program. Some are on the other page that you'll see with engineering and industrial technologies, lots of engineering degrees, lots of other degrees that are within the area of advanced manufacturing. That's a very popular field around this area. So, we're able to offer those programs to help students get training and education in those areas to go back and fill some of those job positions that are still readily available. Some of the things that you'll notice on here with my little asterisk notes is that we do have some new programs that are planning to be joining us in the fall of 2021. So I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up about some of those that we're expecting to see by next fall be available for students to apply for, including textile technology. And then on the health and human services side, There's respiratory therapy, surgical technology, health information technology. Those are some that are going to be coming to us next year. And then we also do have some of our existing programs like cosmetology. Nursing is quite a large field. We have the RN program, the LPN program, and then for those who already are an LPN, we have an LPN to RN bridge program to help them finish that associate's degree. So there's lots of options there. We do have veterinary medical technology. In fact, we're one of the few in the state that actually has a vet tech program, and we have many students that come to us from all over, from many different counties, even from many different states who are interested in this program. Plus, we actually do have a new vet tech building that was just built for us. So we're very excited to be able to use our new facilities, and our students have been able to go ahead and start using those, the new facilities that we have for vet tech, and they're very excited about all that we're able to offer, not just our students in education, but the animals they're able to help week in and week out. So it's pretty awesome. So just kind of giving you an idea of what this looks like on the Gaston College side. We do have a couple different types of courses that you can sign up for. So there are the traditional courses that are seated in the classroom, and you'll see, I kind of use some of the verbiage that you're going to see on that student portal that we use, which is called Web Advisor. So it'll say that it is 100% face-to-face. Those usually meet somewhere between 2 to 4 times a week in person on campus, and you really have no more than 30 students that are going to be in a classroom there. But everything is going to happen inside the classroom. So there's really not a whole lot of online component to that option. Whereas with the blended and the hybrid, there's a little bit more online that's involved. So you'll see with both of them, the blended is less than 50% is going to be online, but the hybrid actually could have about half or a little bit more online. So there are some online components to both of those options, depending on how comfortable you may be with online learning. And they still will meet on campus. Hybrid usually meets maybe about no more than 2 days a week. The blended courses will still meet somewhere between that 2 to 4 days a week, because majority of what you're getting from blended is still going to be in the classroom. And then we do have internet courses, which are 100% online. You are not required to come to campus for your assignments or the work that you're doing inside of those classes. So sometimes those classes might have a little bit of a larger seat, because since you're not sitting in a classroom, we might be able to open that up to a few more students who are needing those specific classes. But typically it's not too much more than that 30 cap that we try to have for our classes. So we do have some special programs. One option is work-based learning, and this can kind of be a little bit of a broad option for a lot of students because it pairs with so many different programs of ours. As you can see, there's over 35 programs that's eligible to have work-based learning component with. So the benefits of work-based learning, it does help you go ahead and get into that career field and start gaining work experience while you're learning. So it really does pair well with what you're learning in the classroom to what you're actually doing on the job site. And that's kind of the purpose. It's to help you go ahead and get a job within that career field that you're wanting to enter once you've completed that degree with us or that program. And so it's going to go ahead and, get your foot in the door early, so that way you could be building up that resume, those skills. It's teaching you a little bit more about what that's going to look like from an employee-employer side of things versus a teacher-student side of that particular field. So it's definitely a great opportunity for those programs that do participate. If you're interested, there's some contact information below, and our website does also give more information about work-based learning under programs. Also, on the other side of that, you see Apprenticeship 321. So Apprenticeship 321 is a great way to have your education covered financially while you are studying and working towards a specific field. So it's a really great opportunity, especially if if you're considering one of the options that they have for occupations. So there's over 10 different options. There's a lot of them that are within the trade area, within advanced manufacturing, some like HVAC, computer integrative machining, tool and die. Those are some of the occupations that you might find that are a little bit more specific to advanced manufacturing and those type of trade areas. They also do have CNA 1 and 2 as a possibility, and then there's a paramedic track as well. And so what Apprenticeship 321 does is that it helps connect those students with career opportunities within those fields, because we do have specific employers that are working with us to be able to help employ those students, and they're earning an hourly wage. So they are earning on the job just like they would had they been hired, because that's the process that the student's going through. They actually are sitting down and being hired by the company. So they are an employee of that company, whether it be through one of our advanced manufacturing partners or maybe through one of our healthcare providers. They're actually being employed to do that job. And then on the flip side, a couple of days a week, they're actually sitting in the classroom learning the educational background of what they need to be able to perform in that field professionally. So you get the classroom part a couple of days a week. You get to work in the field itself on the job site a few days a week. The cool thing is that within the program, your tuition and fees are actually covered by the program itself. So you're not actually putting any money towards your education, but you still get to leave with an education and training. And then you've already been employed by that employer in that field doing that job, because those employers are actually training you specifically for that field at their organization. So you actually get to walk away with the position and an education without putting any money in for it. So that's actually a really great bundle. You're not going to get opportunities like that too many other places, truthfully. So definitely clue in whenever you get opportunities for apprenticeship programs, and Apprenticeship 321 is a great one to check out if you're interested in any of these fields. We do have a lot of scholarships. In fact, just in general, we have over $180,000 in scholarship monies that we are trying to get students to apply for, so that way we could help them financially with their education as well from our side of things. So those are just scholarships that live on the Gaston College campus for those Gaston College students to be able to apply for. And you can apply as an incoming Gaston College student for those scholarship opportunities. So for those who might be graduating this year and wanting to start at the Gaston College level, you can be looking at that application process. Typically for just the general Gaston College scholarships, they do try to collect that information between the beginning of March and the end of April. So that is something to be checking out in the spring, just a little FYI. But there are some specific opportunities that do have a scholarship component to it that I do want to highlight as well. So we do have the Spark Scholars program, which is pretty awesome for those students who might be wanting to pursue something STEM related. And you see some of the programs on here that students could be participating in, but that doesn't mean that that's all of them. But just some of them, like the biology, computer science, engineering, math, those are all very popular within the STEM world of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So for those students who do want to pursue a STEM program, specifically that are wanting to get a bachelor's degree at a 4-year school, we can actually help you out at front. You could participate as a Spark Scholar with Gaston College, go pursuing an Associate of Science, which is one of those college transfer programs that we talked about. And you can actually get your education here, your associate's degree, to be able to transfer into the 4-year schools with a lot of benefits as a Spark Scholar. So there is scholarship opportunities up to $6,000 for those who do qualify. But even if you don't get a scholarship, you can still participate as a Spark Scholar student. It's very hands-on, very interactive. You do get research opportunities, which is actually pretty cool because a lot of students don't have the opportunity to put their hands on research projects within their field until later into their bachelor's degree or even into the beginning of their graduate program. So through Spark Scholars, you're able to go ahead and put your name towards actual research projects that you can present at local events and conferences that you go to, as well as state-based and even national-based conferences that you might be able to travel at, just to be able to show what you've researched and what you have found on your end of things within that particular project. So that's actually a really cool opportunity, some things that you could go ahead and be putting on that resume. So that way, when you transfer to your four-year school, you can say, hey, as well, when I was at my community college, I was a Spark Scholar. And these are some of the things I got to do. These were some of the things I was able to research. And so it does help you in that transfer process as well. So those are some things to consider if you're interested in something STEM related. And also, on the other side, you'll see GC Promise. GC Promise is a scholarship that is specific to those students who might have completed 15 credit hours or more within the Career and College Promise, CCP program. So those students who have already participated with us as CCP students and started collecting some of those credit hours at Gaston College while they're finishing up their high school degree, they are the ones that we're targeting for eligibility for this GC Promise scholarship. So there are some steps of eligibility that you'll see there. You do have to have a 3.25 unweighted GPA at your high school. You do have to have completed your CCP classes with a C or better. And one of the reasons for that is because, truthfully, if you're wanting to take that and transfer that to another school, their four-year schools will really not look at anything below a C as far as transferring in those credits. So that's just an FYI, regardless of if you participate in GC Promise or not. So we do want you to have that C or greater to be able to help with your transfer process, if that's something for you. You do have to complete the FAFSA, FAFSA. That's to apply for your financial aid opportunities, as well as you do have to apply for GC scholarships through our website. So those are just a few steps. You do have to apply to the college, apply for financial aid, apply for scholarships, but there's not actually a specific scholarship application for GC Promise. Our financial aid office actually comes behind you, and as long as you meet the academic eligible criteria, which you'll see on the screen, and you follow the other steps of applying to the college, applying for financial aid and other scholarships at GC, then financial aid comes behind, and they'll identify any of those students who might be eligible for GC Promise to be able to award you that. So it is a last dollar scholarship, and pretty much what that means is even if you don't get a dime from financial aid opportunities or from any other Gaston College scholarships, GC Promise will come behind and will be able to help cover your tuition and fees for your remaining 2 years at Gaston College. So truthfully, you have maybe about 2 years to complete, because if you've completed about 15 credit hours or more, you've already taken away about a semester by the time you've completed high school towards that associate's degree that you're going to be working towards. So this is just another cool opportunity, especially for those students who have participated in CCP, to be able to get additional assistance. That's a little extra money in your pocket, like we talked about earlier, just so that way, whenever you do transfer into the four-year schools, you have a little bit more to be able to pull from, have a little more saved up from what you didn't have to use at your community college. So just another great opportunity to be able to save money up front. So we do have a lot of cool student resources that are on our campus. We do have computer labs across campus, as you might imagine. So there's several places that if you need to just camp out while you're on campus with us to be able to do some homework, or maybe attend a virtual class, however that goes, and then you're able to use those resources while you're on campus. But we do have a learning center, and the learning center specifically provides the option for students to be able to receive free peer tutoring services. So if you are struggling in a certain area, or maybe you're signing up for a class and just right off the bat, hey, I'm not great at math, but I have to take a math class this semester, then you could go ahead and sign up with the learning center for them to be able to pair you with a peer tutor, someone who excels in that subject matter. So that way, they're able to come behind and help you academically get through that course load. So we do have the Counseling Center and Advising Center. Those are two different centers that are able to assist you. We do have licensed counselors that are on campus, as well as those that can help you with career services, accessibility services for those who might need that option, and then academic advisors to be able to help you with all that other course selection. And we'll talk about that in another second as well. The Writing Center is very similar to the Learning Center, and it does give you free assistance for any of those written projects you might have for your classes. So that's available. We do have the library as well, as you might imagine. It's a 2-story library with lots of books. Over 50,000 pieces of printed material are inside the building itself. But we are also connected with over 50 other community colleges in the state of North Carolina. So that way, if for some reason you cannot find the resources that you need on our campus within our library, we could actually order that for you from another library at no charge. So that's a really cool option that we have there. But there's thousands and thousands of online databases that are available, especially through our library homepage, that you can use to do your research. So there's lots of options there with trying to complete those projects and learn a little bit more along the way. And we do have TRIO. TRIO is a student support service that is able to help those students regardless of what program you're attending on campus with. It is specifically open to those students who might qualify as either first generation, so your parents don't have a bachelor's degree or higher, those who might be of low income, or students who might already have a documented disability. So those, you just have to meet one of those 3 requirements, since it is a federally funded program, to be able to participate in TRIO. But TRIO is kind of one-stop shopping to a certain degree. So it does help you with the academic side of advising, the financial side of advising. That can help you fill out those FAFSA applications if you needed assistance. As well as our financial aid office can too. But they do help you from a lot of different perspectives. And they're just being able to be available to students as an additional support group. So that's the whole purpose, especially for those students who might be first generation and their parents don't have much experience with applying to or attending college. This is just one way that we can help students up front be able to complete their program and make sure that they have the assistance and guidance that they need throughout. So TRIO is really awesome for those students who might need just an extra bit of support. Another type of resource that we have is researching careers and programs through a career portal, which is live on our homepage, gaston.edu, and it is a free service to all students. You don't even have to be a current Gaston College student. You can go right into the gaston.edu homepage, click on career portal in the top right, and you can go ahead and start researching. It's a good research tool, especially if you're still kind of considering what is out there career-wise and what you might want to do with your next steps after high school. So there's a lot of different ways that you can research careers. You can type in it specifically. You can look at it from different subgroups and headings that they have available already. You can even take assessments on there if you have no idea where to start. And that can kind of tell you, hey, these are some of your strengths. You might want to look in some of these areas for what careers are available. And then you can find out more about specific careers, looking at what their job tasks are for the day, who hires employees for this position, where are they being hired at, other things like what they make wage-wise, what the salary might look like for the year. So all of those kind of things. And it actually ties right back into Indeed.com, which is an active job search site. So that way you can see live job postings. So this is something you could use as a prospective student just researching, or you could even use this as a current student if you're trying to job shop for things after you've graduated, trying to see what's out there. You can use Career Portal to be able to help you with that too. So lots of cool aspects to using Career Portal. And then we do also have a lot of student involvement and engagement on our campus. And we try very hard to be able to let students know that, you know, it's not just come to campus, take a class, go back home. It doesn't have to be like that if you so choose that you want to be involved and engaged on our campus. So we do have the Student Government Association, SGA. And for those who are unfamiliar with SGA, because there are some high schools that participate in that club, but I believe they're established on all high school campuses. For those who aren't familiar with SGA, pretty much SGA is a voice for the students. So you have the ability to speak for the student body, and you can take some of those concerns or wants or needs that the student body might present to you as a member of the SGA, and you can take that to some of the college administrators who are actually able to take that suggestion and make change with it. So you can be kind of that middleman between the student body and the college administrators. And there's lots of other, cool aspects of SGA. You do get to plan different activities and the special events that we have on campus, which are several. We try to have at least one a month, but honestly, it's multiple a month, just to be able to keep the students engaged and let you know that we're here for you. You also get to attend statewide conferences. So you get to do a little bit of travel too. And you get to join in with other SGA members at other community college across the state of North Carolina to be able to learn, grow in leadership skills, and also be able to help, make effective change too. So there's lots of really cool aspects of being a part of your SGA. And we do have one here at Gaston College that is open and available for you to be able to join in with. We do have about 20 active clubs and organizations outside of the SGA that we mentioned that students could also participate with. Some of them might be academic related, some of them are service bound, some of them might be a little bit more about diversity and culture. We do have honor societies, and then there are some that are just special interest programs. I've listed a few on there just to kind of give you kind of a wide range of some of the options that we have. But like I said, there's about 20 active clubs that you could participate in. So there's lots of options there. And we do have some campus activities. So there is a semester by semester activity fee. So each semester, whenever you pay for your tuition and fees, one of the fees that's included in that is the student activity fee. It's about $15 for a semester, but that just helps being able to provide activities on our campus for the student body. So that way you're able to go and enjoy some of these activities that might, have some free food available, games, other special components. I know one of our last events had a virtual reality game that they were able to offer the students, which is pretty cool. So some specialty items like that. We do try to have events throughout our fall and spring semester just to keep the students engaged. We do have several different types of events. Welcome week at the beginning of the fall semester. We do have Spirit Week where we get to dress up a little bit more and have certain days with, certain emphasis. Spring Fest, which is, a week in the spring semester where we're able to come together and really enjoy and have fun together. Club Day, where we get to highlight all these clubs and organizations so that we can learn more about how to get involved on campus. And then lunch and learn workshops, which are really cool ways to be able to grow in areas like building a resume, learning leadership skills, being able to learn a little bit more about not only different aspects of Gaston College culture, but also about what's going on outside. So that way, once you graduate, these are interviewing skills you can use, or, whatever the skill may be that they're teaching. So lunch and learns are actually a really cool workshop for students to be able to learn a little bit more about some of those real world applicable skills that they may need that you might not have covered so far. So and then we do have student ambassadors that are able to help out on our campus, as well as sometimes with other events, whether we have them on campus or outside of campus, that help to promote the college. So you really are acting as kind of like a first layer of students to be able to introduce yourself to other students who might be interested in Gaston College, maybe walk them around the campus, tell them a few stories, let them know what's going on at Gaston College, and just kind of be a little bit of that introduction, that face to the college for that particular prospective student. So it's a pretty cool opportunity. We do have counseling and advising centers, which I mentioned earlier. Advisors help with the academic side, and then the counselors are there if you do have any personal issues that you want to speak out about. Specifically, even though we're not able to offer short-term or long-term counseling on our campus regularly with our counselors, we can help connect you to those resources within our community. And one cool thing that we're able to offer our students specifically in this topic is the Student Outreach Service, or SOS. So for students who feel like they might want to partner with an actual licensed counselor, we do have a service here, SOS, that's able to help students connect with those licensed professionals, and you get several sessions to be able to talk through whatever it is you feel like you need to speak about with no additional cost to the student. So that's actually a really great tool. So I did want to speak a little bit more specifically about the transfer process. There is the CAA, the Comprehensive Articulation Agreement, that does exist in the state of North Carolina, that pretty much just helps the transfer process between the North Carolina community colleges into the North Carolina public universities. And so that's kind of an agreement that these four-year universities that you might be also interested in checking out and learning more about, that they're going to be able to accept the credits that you completed at the NC Community College, like Gaston College. So that way it helps your transfer process more smooth it out. So that way you're able to go from the community college to the four-year school and continue with your education at the four-year level. So this agreement just kind of helps keep that in place for students who are interested in that transfer process. There are some specific articulation agreements for the Associate of Applied Science programs, those AAS degrees that we mentioned earlier. But the only thing with that is because not every single one of them is designed to transfer, this is something that you're going to want to check out with your academic advisor just to be able to make sure that you're on the right pathway for the program that you're interested in. And then some of this information that you're seeing on here about transferring will be available through the ACA 122 course. So if you start with Gaston College, one of the first courses that's recommended for you to take is the ACA 122 course. That's kind of like an intro to college. But it also does help give the 122 course gives some specific information about the transfer process and about looking for the four-year schools while you're still studying at Gaston. So that way, during your two-year process here at Gaston, you can be researching what the four-year school options are for you, to know where you want to transfer into next and to know how to go about that process. And just letting you know, most of the four-year schools are looking for students to complete at least 30 credit hours, if not more, to be able to be labeled as a transfer student, which you do complete 60 to 61 credit hours within our college transfer programs. So 30 credit hours is about a year's worth of education within that college transfer program. But we do recommend, if you're able to for many of our programs, to go ahead and complete the 2 years and get that associate's degree for the transfer process. And just letting you know what's also available at Gaston, we do have some guaranteed admissions programs. So these really do help you go ahead and start gearing your education while you're at Gaston towards a specific four-year school. So if you know that you want to go into UNC Charlotte whenever you graduate from Gaston, then the 49er Next program might be something of interest to you to be able to check out. So that way you could go ahead and make sure you're not only connecting with our advisors here at Gaston, but you're also connecting with UNC Charlotte advisors. So that way on both sides, you're getting the information that you need to be able to move forward with that transfer process once you've completed the associate's degree. So you see several down here with App, ECU, UNC Wilmington, Gardner-Webb, Lees-McRae. We have a lot of different relationships with these universities and colleges for the smooth transition process with these guaranteed admissions programs. And then our Transfer Advising Center. So we do have a Transfer Advising Center specifically on our campus. They're located on the Dallas campus, which is the main campus. We also call them the TAC. And the TAC is specifically created to be able to help students who are interested in the college transfer process be able to get all the credit hours that they need while they're at Gaston that we offer without taking any unnecessary courses. So obviously, if you're going towards a particular program, if you're going towards engineering at a four-year school versus going towards English at a four-year school, that's going to be a little bit of a different pathway. So we want to make sure that you're in the right degree program for what you want to do to transfer into that specific four-year school within that specific program you've chosen. And so that way you're getting all the credits you need at Gaston College without taking any classes unnecessarily that aren't even needed for your program at the four-year school. To kind of tailor your education here to make it easier for your transition process once you get to the four-year school. So that's why we do advise you to keep in touch with your transfer advisor, whoever that may be able to keep in touch and definitely make sure that you have that relationship there, that you're asking every semester about what's going on and what do I need to do next. So just to be able to give you a little bit more information about how to reach out to us. This is our admission steps, and you can reach back out to our admissions office or me specifically to be able to get that information as well.
All right, thank you. You cut it at just 2:45, perfect timing. So I am going to share our screen just to wind down. So we want to thank you for joining us and hearing all the great information that Gaston had to offer. When you close this window, there will be a very quick 4-question survey that will pop up, and we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide for both CACRAO and for the individual colleges. Also, this is just one of the many sessions being held throughout the next 2 weeks. So we encourage you to go onto the website to find additional sessions at CACRAO.org or CACRAO.org. And about a week, if there is some great information that you wanted to review that Megan just shared with you, the recording of this presentation will be up on the CACRAO website as well, so you can refer back to that. But we wish you a great day and happy transferring. Thank you.